It's lights out and away we go!
Everybody, and welcome back to the GT UK F1 podcast, and I am joined by David.
Good day, everyone.
Back with his season opener at Australia.
Back in Australia for the season opener, which isn't me, or does that just feel right? Melbourne to me was always the season opener, and it always should be.
Oh yeah, and yeah, so there's been a little bit of breaking news that the FIA has issued a statement on the introduction of tougher rear wing deflection tests from China, which is this week.
Yeah, which is literally this weekend, isn't it? I didn't realise that was straight into a back-to-back.
Yeah, this weekend. But they're not going to bring in the tests for the front wings until Spain. And it's kind of a little bit weird because they'd been running cameras on rear wings to see how they'd been deforming, basically. And that's what it is. So there is that, and then the other slight breaking news, which is a little bit of a spoiler, but Antonelli got his points back as well. So it was.
I do wish to point out from the article, it says that all the cars racing at Melbourne, their wings did comply to the requirements. Obviously,
they were legal.
At Melbourne.
Yeah, they were legal.
So obviously nothing was illegal there, but obviously they must have been running close.
Yeah, I'm guessing so.
So this is the constant battle between the FIA and drivers in it. What's up?
I said I was guessing so.
This is the constant battle the FIA have with teams, where they come up with regulations and teams come up with even more interesting ways to circumvent them.
Yeah. So,
but
a bit of the format is basically me and David, because of the timings, we did not manage to catch any of practice. But
to be perfectly honest, with my work schedule, very rare I'll catch practice at all. So it's just one of those things.
Looking through the results, Haas didn't look strong. I know you don't read practice, but
it also didn't help that was it Behrman binned it in practice 1, didn't get out for practice
2,
and then didn't get a lot of running. Did he spin it again in practice 3 or something like that?
You got about 13 laps in FP3.
And I think he spun it, so he was well down on practice time, which.
That went Sainz in the Williams in FP1, 1 minute 17.4.
Yeah, so Williams is looking a strong team this year. It really is. I mean, the race didn't exactly go to plan, which
now
we'll get to when we get to, but.
Yeah, it's I'm
guessing Lawson had a crash in FP3 as well. They only completed 2 laps and didn't set a time.
To be honest, from what
I was waiting for this. I knew this was coming. I mean, I've kind of poked the bear a little bit, but I was waiting for this Liam Lawson rant because, yeah. We all know your opinions leading up to this season on his appointment.
Yeah.
To the team.
I mean, I think I'll come on to it more during the race. To be honest.
Well, in qualifying, unfortunately, he didn't exactly paint himself in glory.
Well, the thing is, it's like it's the rain that happened during the race. That proved something. It really did. But anyways, qualifying. Now, the Merc.
Immediately got to say, you got to feel really bad for Ben, and going into what we said, he shit run in practice, and then the gearbox fails on his outlap of Q1.
Yeah.
Well, actually, because the gearbox didn't totally fail because he didn't have to change it, did they? But he couldn't get fourth gear or something.
Yeah, he wouldn't go into fourth.
Which unfortunately they tried to get fixed and couldn't, so he ended up with a did not start, starting from the back. I think in the end he took the opportunity and pit lane started him, didn't he, as well as Lawson did as well.
Lawson pit laned, and so did
Which brings on the interesting regulation change this year that pit lane start cars now do the formation lap.
Yeah.
You know, originally they just had to sit at the end of the pit lane and wait. Now they actually go out, do the formation lap, and then go to the pit lane.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a good thing because he's putting heat into the tyres, not going out to the grid.
No, I know.
And he also gives them a chance to do a sighting lap, which isn't the worst thing in the world.
No. So,
but,
yeah, it's been qualifying was rather interesting. I mean, okay, I didn't expect Doohan to come out the block and outdo Gasly. To be honest, I really didn't. I'm not saying anything bad against like the rookies, bar one.
Well, he didn't have Gasly out-qualified him.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Gasly out-qualified.
I mean, Isaac Hadjar won the battle of the rookies.
Too
with
right,
that 11th
did.
place.
I mean,
in general, strong for racing bulls in general. I mean, Yuki into 5th.
Yeah.
Which once again which may add further fire to your Liam Lawson rant. But
Albon, though.
Albon 6th, yeah, in front of both Ferraris.
That's what I mean. It's just a shame that Sainz. It's just a shame that Sainz couldn't get a little bit higher up, and it'd have been a bit like a middle fucking finger at the Ferraris a little bit.
It would have been money, hell. I actually think his time will come, especially if Ferrari. I don't know. I personally think this weekend we saw some old Ferrari come back and not in the good ways. I mean, we'll come on to that, but all I have to say is.
Let's add that to the words of wisdom.
Yeah. I'm guessing that's the new.
That's going to be the leave me alone, I know what I'm doing, isn't it?
Yeah,
it was absolutely genius.
I mean. Did you notice, though, how much coverage was on Hamilton?
Don't.
There was a lot of coverage on Hamilton.
Yeah, and you know, I'm going to admit, the little bit of practice I saw, and one of the reasons why I didn't watch a lot of practice, the pre-season test. I think I watched about 15 minutes, and they spent the entire time talking about Hamilton while he wasn't even on track.
Yeah.
And I was just like...
There was it seemed a lot of coverage on Hamilton just because he'd moved to Ferrari. It's like, look.
I mean, hopefully, if he's performing the way he is right now, they might shut up after a while. Although we can't fully blame all of that on him. Like I say, I think the Ferrari team managed to pull an absolute blinding lack of strategy out this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, they tried something and it really balls them up. But it makes me laugh that if you've noticed, the Max, he's not letting that go. Really?
What do you mean, not letting what go? What do you mean?
Well, when he qualified in 3rd.
Oh, he just... I don't think this year we're going to have the Red Bull dominance, but at the same time, let's not discount the fact that Max is a fucking fantastic driver.
He's a fucking animal.
And he's not going to let this go without a bloody good fight.
No.
I think there is a chance he could get number 5. I think he's the outsider this year, but I wouldn't rule him out.
No.
Some of his driving during the race was impeccable for a couple of laps on what was blatantly the wrong tyre. And yet, his ability in those kind of conditions is just...
It was quite, like I say, it wasn't quite the level of Brazil.
No.
But Yeah, no. I mean, like we say, the Aston did look alright to a point. But I don't know. I just, like I say, I don't think we won't really see much of Aston Martin until 2026.
No, and to be honest with you, with the weather conditions of this race, I don't think we got a true result of what some of the cars are capable of.
No.
I think we'll see more.
China's going to be an interesting one. That's for
I mean,
certain.
let's be honest. I mean, it's 6 DNFs. That's the highest number we've had for quite a while, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Towards the end of last season, I mean, unfortunately, of which 4 of them were the rookies.
Yeah. So,
You know,
shall we move a little bit forward?
well, let's not quite get to the race yet. Let's take a second to, and I see the lad's been getting some stick in social media, Isaac Hadjar. It was a mistake. It was a bad mistake, but he doesn't. It was. I think it was your old pal, Dr. Marco, again, wasn't it?
Don't even. Oh, right. I'm getting my soapbox. I'm getting the soapbox.
I'm sorry, folks. I thought I'd hidden that fucking thing. I'm going to burn that thing, I swear.
Marco, I am going to say Marco should keep his fucking mouth shut. He really should keep his mouth shut. Concentrate on basically. It wasn't. It was against doing, wasn't it?
No, it was against. Had he not been talking about? I think before the race, he'd been talking about
Bortolesso.
wasn't it?
Yeah, Bortolesso.
And then he'd made comments about Hadjar, about his emotion after it was a mistake. The rear end lit up, and unfortunately, on the way to the grid, he managed to bin it.
Yeah.
Now, he's not the only one. At one point, Ocon spun it, but luckily kept it out of the walls.
And the problem is, and this is where I don't know if it's the FIA's fault or... I'll come on to the FIA in a bit. But if it was the FIA's fault or if it's the event organisers' fault, if it's down to the event organiser or whoever, they should not have repainted them fucking cycle lanes.
Trouble is, that's more to do with the fact that it's a public road when it's not a racetrack.
Yeah, I know that, but it depends how soon they had been done. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I would imagine. I mean they know Albert Park is a race circuit. They'll do everything with consideration.
But a lot of the white lines were causing the problems of the spins.
Yeah, but the thing is, it was the same for everybody. That to me is one of them things where I'm not saying you're wrong, but to me you can't over-sanitize the sport. And I personally am the opinion, well, if a white line's are slippy, the white lines are slippy. That's just something else. Drivers have to cut in.
Well, I wonder if it was similar to what happened to Sainz during the race with Hadjar.
I think, we saw, I think it was Lawson basically had the exact same crash in the same place, didn't he? Sainz, they reckon something about
Overtalk.
Yeah, they reckon the car just upshifted wrong or something and just suddenly fired all the power through the back axle now.
And we think...
You wouldn't expect somebody with Sainz's experience...
Yeah.
...to make a silly mistake like that.
No, and then...
My fantasy team did that, but we'll get on to that when we get there.
I think it's fucked. I'm completely fucked, like I said to you.
Yeah, mate, I've seen the results. Trust me, you're going to love mine. Fucking hell.
But...
yeah, spoiler for later, folks. But
yeah. Hell. But
it's not good.
But I wonder if something similar happened to Hadjar. I mean, the thing is, I get it. He's been working so hard to get into F1. The emotions will have just, because it was quite a big shunt. It probably would have shocked his system as well. And
he'll have built himself up to this moment. This was his first race, and he's not one of these. He's not like Behrman or one of these who've had a race.
No.
Or two. So this was his first race.
Yeah. Now.
He'll have built himself up and up and up to this, probably since the start of the year.
Yeah, and...
Or certainly since it was announced that it was going to be him doing it.
Yeah, and I just...
And then for it to end like that just doesn't... Yeah.
I felt for the guy, but did...
Oh, I do, but he'll be back. He'll be back in the next race.
But did Liberty Media or whoever really needed to just just fucking keep the camera on him. They could see he was visibly upset. It's like, right.
That's what sells, though.
I know, but it's like, right, let's get back to the racing. But no.
Well, it was, wasn't it? We weren't racing. We did delay the start by 10, 15 minutes while they cleared that car away. And
yeah, I know, but it's like, let's get back to whatever else. Not just focusing on him. And one thing I will say, it was nice to see Anthony Hamilton comforting him. And, it sort of proves that regardless of, he's lost his dad or whatever, but regardless of that, it's like...
He's been there, he's seen it, he knows what.
Yeah. And it's just, I'm thinking, well, Netflix are going to have a fucking field day with that one, aren't they? But, yeah, I really felt for the guy.
Oh, certainly, yeah. It was a rough.
Well,
Say it caused a slight start delay now. And then what did we get? 3 or 4 laps before the safety car was called? In fact, no one knows it because it was first lap, wasn't it, that doing? Unfortunately, dropped it.
Yeah. But it's just like, yeah, like I say, Helmut Marko just needs to just shut the fuck up.
Your favourite person in Formula 1. I'm sure of it.
He really does. He just needs to just shut up. Or just piss off out of the sport. Quite frankly. As well as fucking Briatore. Briatore needs to fuck off and all. Mr. fucking Crashgate.
The great Flavio.
Yeah, he needs to fuck off. He's so far up his fucking own backside, it's unreal. It makes me laugh. A certain podcast had him on and all, and I listened to the entire episode and thought, what a fucking wanker you are. I mean, yeah, I can deal with EJ, but fuck me. EJ sometimes is a bit, but that's who he is. But Flavio just thinks, oh, I'm Mr. fucking Wonder, all this shit, and it's like, oh, fuck off, Flavio. It's not, and it was even on, like, Drive to Survive. Even on that, he was, oh my god, he was just like, look, it's not the time when you fucking raced. It's just the way he spoke with doing as well. It's just like, fuck. Still there?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just letting you have your little rant.
Yeah. So, I mean...
So now we can get on to a point that Alan rose, which, unfortunately, Alan can't be here tonight, but he did leave us the points he'd like to make. And the first one, which I think, because I think I disagree with you two on this. I think they were right not to red flag it at that point.
Nah, no. That should have... Why? Wasn't when... No, the thing is, he only said when Sainz spun. There was fucking 3 cars that had gone at that point.
No, there was 2.
No, there's 3. Sainz had gone and then somebody else went. At one point, did you see how... Was it not Alonso?
No, that was like 15 laps later.
Well, where was...
Alonso was out on lap 32.
Where's the... This doesn't help me anymore. This result does not help me. That's what I want. Oh no, sorry. It was surrounding. No. Yeah, no. No, I don't. To be honest, looking at this now, no, I don't agree with Alan.
So even though I come to my side, that it didn't require a red flag.
That one didn't. No, it was the other one that should have done.
That will be Alonso's crash you're now referring to.
It was the Alonso. The Bortoletto and the Lawson and Alonso one. It was
I
around
think
that time.
Bortoletto, and that was late because Alonso lap 32.
No, it was Lawson and Bortoletto's. But you'll understand why when I said you'll understand that when I say what about that. But no, I mean, no, it shouldn't have been because they had enough. Obviously,
I mean,
they
they
had enough
run the
time.
cars through the pit lane, which is what they did.
Yeah, they had enough time to clear it. I mean, obviously, his other point is obviously Ollie Behrman and doing about 13 laps all weekend, which is true. But no, it's the later one I'll get on to.
Right, okay, fair enough. That's like from what I saw on the group chat, I had the feeling that you and Alan agreed that I was going to be the one fighting the other side here, but
I kind of agree. See, the thing is, it's what I kind of see his point because the FIA with the whole making, trying to get the safety and all that lot and stuff like that, but it did make you wonder why did they run them through the pit lane?
the Sainz's car was right on the last corner there. This isn't we have had them running through the pit lane before.
Why didn't they run them down the main straight?
Because I'm guessing their logic was that people were going to be working on the very outside of that final bend. And even at lower safety car speeds, the risk of a car sliding into a marshal is something. It's this is where we go into. You can never zero risk, but you can minimise it.
Well, yeah, but the problem
I'm guessing that was just one of those territories where, you've not always got that luxury. If it happens on turn 6, you can't do it. You've got to keep marshals aware of traffic. But if you've got the ability to take the cars completely away from where the marshals are going to be working, then it kind of makes sense to do that, in my opinion. I don't know.
But
I'm interested to hear thoughts from other people as well on this.
because it was the later on one that gets a bit much. Because because especially when you saw live where one of the marshals was stood, that was during the Alonso crash.
Oh, the Alonso crash was possible because that car, because there was no runoff where that car went off.
No, but did you see where the marshal was stood?
Yeah, I believe and there was truck on track as well for a bit.
Truck on track?
Which that's the bit, when the safety car snake had to go past the lorry and the safety car took the escape road to avoid it. I have a feeling the track officials and the FIA will be having words about that. Because we all know the problem with safe vehicles on circuit, something we don't like.
Why did this... this is what I don't understand. And I am getting on my soapbox. Because why wasn't it red flagged? Why?
The only way
they had a vehicle on... You saw Lando Norris get so fucking close to that vehicle. Yes, he was at safety car.
He didn't want to follow the safety car and go off.
Yes, but why did the safety car peel off? That's what I don't understand.
I'm guessing just to give the truck room.
The safety car peeled off. None of the F1 cars did.
I'm guessing it was just to give the safety car the truck a bit of space. Was why Burns made the decision to do it. But the thing is, the F1 cars, you don't really want to venture off because the chance to pick up a puncher or something.
Exactly, they couldn't have done it. That should, as soon as the Alonso crash come out, that should have been a red. Because if they've got the problem is with Albert Park as well, is it's not like Monaco. It's not like other places where they've got the cranes to get the cars out.
Yeah.
So they have to put the vehicle on track. But it was the wrong time. It was the wrong way of doing it, I feel. They should have red flagged it. Because what were they going to do if the barrier was damaged? They'd have had to red flag it.
Yeah, if they had to, I suppose they've taken the time to look at that and decided it wasn't bad enough to need to. Because he'd also hit the barrier in a slightly odd place because he'd spun out the corner before and actually carried it a fair old way.
Oh yeah. But it's just like there was questionable decisions on that. Especially when you saw a marshal stood on the corner because of having to. I'm guessing he was a spotter. It's a bit like.
Yeah.
It's a bit like the trains where if they're working on the line and they have to have a spotter that'll
alert them when there's a train coming.
When there's a train coming, even though they've got detonators placed in case, but on certain bits on the line that they're working on. But anyways, that's another thing. But I think that's why he was.
Yeah, go on. You're on car nerd now. Train nerd can wait for the other podcast.
Because I think that's why he was stood there. He was acting as a spotter because of the truck crew, the truck and the marshals. But still, even him being stood there was quite dangerous.
Oh yeah,
because if it had have absolutely pissed it down, or a car had, if there was a lot of standing water on there, the car could have just aquaplaned. Could have. And
that goes back to the point of why they ran them through the pit lane during the sciences, and that to me is the reason why.
Yeah.
Because of those risks.
But they had where Alonso crashed out, there was no real way for people to hide.
No, I don't disagree with you.
They were in the firing line. They were on a live running. They were passing a live sort of working area. All they could have done, red flag, get them back to the pit, quickly get that car off, get them restarted. If not a rolling start, just not a standing start, just get it on a rolling start. One turn, one time round. Safety car in, off you go again.
I guess the only sort of, and I'm not saying this like it's a justifiable, I'm purely playing devil's advocate here, is if the FIA knew that the weather was coming in, any delays pushed more and more into chance of bad weather.
The weather came in anyways.
Oh, I'm not saying it didn't, but I'm saying, if they'd ended up with like a 20-30 minute delay.
Oh yeah.
It might have pushed them to the point where they couldn't have continued the race, or would have ended up. Because don't forget, it was quite late on in the afternoon in Albert Park, so your daylight is not potentially an issue yet, but we'll be getting close.
Well, yeah, but they still could have red flagged it once got the vehicle's clear, right? Rolling start, sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, possibly. I'm not saying you're wrong at all. I'm not.
I don't know, it just seemed to be handled not with the interests of safety in mind. Because all it could have took was even Lando to come out of that corner, even under safety car, come out of that corner, lost the rear end. Well, there's a marshal dead, or maybe him in the back of the truck, It could have been worse.
100%, yeah, I'm not going to argue with you for 1 second on that.
And it was just like, because I just sat there, watched it, I was like, what the actual fuck? I really did. It was like, it's Japan all over again.
Complete with Leclerc's seat full of water.
Did we ever find out what the hell went wrong with that?
I'm guessing either it was just the rain or his drinks bottle leaked something. It clearly wasn't anything critical.
No.
But yeah, I just love that. Must be the water. Yeah, well, that's the words of wisdom. Genius. The ability to give that much sass back while you're controlling an F1 car at speed in shit conditions.
Mm-hmm.
It's just...
And obviously, you know, you had 14 finishers. Now, we haven't really talked about the race much, but who stood out to you?
Right, well, this is where I'm going to be quite funny here. I'm going to sort of not jump ahead, but just... Because I did... Driver of the day. Who was your thoughts on that?
I voted Norris.
Did you?
Yeah.
Now then, if it'd been driver of the weekend, I'd have agreed with you. I actually voted Antonelli.
It's a surprise.
To start 16th
And finish 4th.
and finish 4th, you know, if it was driver of the weekend, yes, Norris. That qualifying lap, all of that. But purely on that day's performance, I think Antonelli deserved it.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, Norris only got 20% of the vote.
Yeah, it was quite a low winning percentage.
So who...
I mean, I've got to admit, that shot when the camera cut and both McLarens were off the road.
Oof. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where it comes on to what I was saying before about Max's ability, because obviously the rain just hit. Obviously, it caught both of them, and I felt so bad for Oscar in front of his home crowd. I mean, he got it going again, but he basically lost a lap doing it.
Well, he had to... The meme, I saw the meme going around of Oscar about having the practice reversing a tractor at Clarkson's farm.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah, I saw about that.
And they go so slow in reverse, and that's what cost Oscar a lot of time.
But don't forget, they're not reverse gear on an F1 car is
doesn't exist,
purely
really.
an afterthought. It's kind of just there because it's easier than not having it. I bet in the days before martial intervention was banned, I bet they didn't bother.
No, the marshals will.
But because the marshals now aren't allowed to push them off.
Yeah.
Then they've got to. It's literally, it is the worst. It is just, to be honest, it's. You wouldn't really want to go fast because your mirrors are shit. You've not got a camera.
No. Now, I do. I feel sorry for Sainz. I really do.
Yeah, Carlos, it was a bad piece. It was a bad piece of luck. I mean, like I say, kind of fricked my fancy, you know, but to have two of the most experienced guys crash out, Alonso and Sainz, tells you about what those conditions were like.
Yeah.
Which, once again, I say, which is another reason why I thought Antonelli was worthy of that driver of the day vote.
Because
it just kind of made me laugh how we spent so long talking about why is his price so high in fantasy.
Yeah.
And he put on a show. I mean, fair play to Behrman. Okay, he finished near the back, but he kept it going.
And he only had 13 laps for the entire weekend of practice and quali.
Well, I wonder if he almost caught the FAA out. And I wonder if there'll be a rule clarification coming involving that second safety car. Because obviously, the rule that none of us agree with, but is now a thing. That's been a thing for a
The
long time.
unlap.
Where lapped cars are allowed to unlap themselves.
Yeah.
But he then went into the pits, came back out behind, and proceeded to re-unlap himself again. And I'm not sure where the rules stand on that. Now, he didn't get a fine for it, so clearly the FAA...
No, because I think they wanted him out of the way.
Well, yeah, I get that, but at the same time, that's why I think there'll be a rule clarification coming soon.
Because if you look, when he come out of the pits...
He almost took Max off the track.
Yeah, where was he? Right with Max and the McLarens. Was it Max and McLarens at that point?
Well, one of the McLarens, by that point, Piastri was...
Oh, yeah. And at that point, it was like... That's why he was allowed to unlap himself, because it was a case of, right, he has to come out of the way. You need to get him out of the way again.
Careful, there'll be an AD21 situation if you're not careful. Just get the ones out of the way that need to be out of the way and go.
But the thing is... Yeah, because he'd unlapped himself, gone into the...
He'd unlapped himself, then proceeded to pit change tyres.
Yeah, but then by the time...
He came back out...
He'd been lapped, he was technically lapped again.
Yeah, but still, should he have... Because they were getting into the procedure to restart the race. I don't know if he should have unlapped himself there. I think there'll be a rule clarification comes through.
See, I don't know, because, yeah, they were getting ready for the restart procedure, but the problem was, with him in the way, it's a case of, right, well, due to the restart, and it's like, well...
Oh yeah, I fully get
No, but that's the thing, due to the restart, and it was like... Because the safety car was ending, like you say. And I wonder if the race director basically got onto the team quickly and the safety car to just say, look, get him out.
Just let him pass, get him out of the way.
Get him out of the way.
It's possible, yeah, like I say, I bring that up as an interesting... Because I believe that's another thing where that's a situation that we've not actually seen before.
Yeah.
Certainly, as far as I can recall, anybody listening, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen.
Yeah, it was a...
I can't recall that situation ever being a thing.
No, that was a strange one.
But then obviously we got going again. Fair play to Piastri for getting himself back up into the points.
Yeah.
Hilarious watching Ferrari go from being pretty much done to suddenly right in the lead to at the back again because they, for some reason, decided not to pit. Which was classic Ferrari strategy by meh.
That's the thing, they tried to gain the advantage and it balls.
It didn't work though. But the trouble is, they could see it wasn't working well before it totally screwed up on them, and they still continued to...
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? They could have aborted that plan a lot sooner, and probably could have kept one of them up in like the top four.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, it makes me wonder right now is how well will Hamilton get on with his race engineer?
We'll have to see what goes on and see.
Because if you noticed, every time he just told him to just leave him alone. Whereas, probably, yeah, when he was with Sainz was probably used to it. You know what I mean?
Don't forget, Hamilton had Bono for a lot of years, so it's gonna be...
Yeah.
It'd be like a rally driver changing the co-driver. It's gonna take time to adjust. It's like when you start a new relationship, which is basically what a driver and a race engineer are in a way.
Oh yeah.
You know, hopefully not the sleeping together, although we're not here to judge.
But it just seems a little bit...
I've not got this mental image of Hamilton and freaking Bono like Bert and Ernie, and I don't want it.
Well, that's your own fault.
I don't know, Bert. You thinking about the wets, Bert?
But it's just... Yeah, I'm just a bit perplexed, that it's like, well, he's told you to shut up, so stop giving him more information. Give him
Problem probably is though.
give him critical updates of weather and stuff like that.
I think it was one of the Sky podcasts last year. Were talking to. It might have been Bono. I forget who it was. This isn't YouTube Bono for anybody half listening. This is the Hamilton's ex, Pete Bonington. And they were talking about, and there's times when in fact, no, they were talking to GP, wasn't it? I remember now.
What, Giambriero
Lambiasi about him and Max.
Max, yeah.
And even he said there's time for a race engineer. The driver doesn't want to listen to you, but if you've got something that needs to be told, you have to make them listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he straight up said that, and you can imagine Max can be a bloody difficult one to get that too.
Yeah, but
he literally said there's times when you've just got to literally stay and go. It's like disagreeing when they talk about tyre strategies and stuff, and when the driver wants something, and you have to try and tell them, no, you're wrong. Because we have information that you don't.
Yeah, but I mean, one thing that I found interesting, wasn't much swearing on the radio, was there, apart from one driver?
Yeah, but would a lot of that, I wonder if the people behind who've put out the radio are deliberately avoiding a lot of it now.
Well, because of the certain FIA rant.
Well, not just that, I wonder if necessarily... Because, I mean,
Just let them be who they are.
I'm of the opinion, I think it was Brundle who said it and actually put it very well. During press conference and stuff, yes, no swearing. That's absolutely fine. Enforce that rule, press conferences, things like that. But if you stick a microphone in somebody's nose who's just put a car in a barrier, let them run the emotions they're running. Don't try and stifle that, because you want that raw feeling, you want that raw emotion. It goes back to what we said about Isaac Hadjar. That raw emotion. And you want that. Don't try and stifle it, and I personally fully agree with that opinion.
I think I'm with Gordon Ramsay on that, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, deliberately it was him who got asked at F175. It had to be, didn't it?
Yeah.
If you ask somebody about swearing, you got Gordon Ramsay in the room, you're going to start there. Just because he didn't have 2 slices of bread to hand.
Yeah, the problem is, though, it's... he said the same thing when Craig Slater got him. It was a good race. It was a good.
It was a very interesting season opener. I mean, the weather through when we were getting reports midweek of like 90% chance of rain for Sunday, I was like, ooh, this. I'll be honest with you, I was 50-50 on whether I was getting up live or going to watch it mid-afternoon. And when I heard more and more about it, I was like, I want to see this live.
Yeah, I mean, China, I'm not going to be catching live, unfortunately.
I can probably catch the race live. The problem with China is
7 o'clock in a bastard morning.
Yeah, but that's. But I can do that as if I'm at work and get up at 6.
Well, yeah.
That's no biggie. The biggest problem I have with China is going to be quali. Because I start work at 6 a.m. on Saturday. I think quali's about 5.
Well, we'll get round to the timings when that.
So that's going to be my issue. It might be a case that I have to watch quali back because I don't think work will take. Yeah, I'm going to be an hour late because I'm watching qualifying.
Oh, balls, man. No, it's not. Quali's 7.
But yeah, I'll be at work.
Yeah, sprint race, mate, as well.
It's a sprint weekend, I know. Yeah, I saw that when I was looking at.
So that could be interesting. But yeah, anyways, what was anybody else quickly? Anybody else sort of caught your attention?
Like I say, I'm kind of surprised. But say praise to Antonelli.
Yeah.
Quali didn't go well, turned it around in the race. Now, the other thing I will look back to, I meant to mention this, and this might just be my conspiracy theory head. But did you notice how after that first safety car, we started getting all those safety car infringement investigations?
Yeah.
And then the second Hamilton was involved, it was no further action on any of them.
I think you've got your tinfoil hat on again, haven't you? Yeah, I know.
Possibly
I
have a
that.
little bit, but it's funny because I mean I'm assuming it's about not being close enough. You get that in the game, don't you? If you drop too far back. Now, but it's funny how like there was like 3 or 4. I think it was Alonso, Yuki. There was one other, and then there was Hamilton.
And
But I just found it funny how the second that it wasn't long after Hamilton's name was mentioned, suddenly there was a lot of no further actions. As if there was like, because I don't know what the penalty would have been for that. I'm not familiar. I know you've haven't read the Sporting directives. I haven't.
I need to get the shoes and the tech regs.
But yeah, maybe they were just going to let them all off with a warning anyway. But it just maybe just made me laugh how it took his.
Problem is, there's not a lot they could really do. I mean, yeah, it was wet. There was some wet weather involved during one of the safety cars, wasn't there?
That was more the second one, wasn't it? Because that was when.
And it's just a bit like, really, you want them nose to tail in a safety car, Snake, during these conditions? Sort of thing. And it's just like, yeah, the decision making's been a bit poor.
Yeah, that's for standing out race. I mean, credit to Racing Bulls for, the car looks strong. I will say, I was listening to, I think it was Ted, who raised an interesting point, which I know you're not going to like, which one of the reasons I want to say, because he might bring your soapbox back out. And it's to do with Yuki. And how actually the best place for him might be at Racing Bulls.
Why?
Because if he can do well and score good points there, that brings them up the table.
True. Actually, though, no.
I mean, he finishes outside the points this race, but if you had 2 brand new rookies in Racing Bulls, in theory they'd have had no finish this weekend.
Yeah.
Whereas if you can get him to consistently score points, don't forget how close like 5th to 8th was in the championship last year.
Now, I'm actually going to agree with you quickly on that one. Because because I feel, technically, even though I might dislike a Lawson, that could be Lawson's quick exit. Now, if Yuki gets into that second seat, hopefully not, but if he did, Yuki might go down the same path as everybody else.
There was a meme going around Facebook. It was like, "Come on, join us." It was Lawson, and it was like Webber, Ricciardo, Sainz, and
Albon.
In fact, Webber. In fact, 5 people, Albon, and then come on, I know his name.
Kvyat.
That's the one. I didn't want to say the Russian or Max's girlfriend's ex, but they were the only things that were coming to mind.
Yeah, no,
Kvyat. The trouble is though, who will go in at that point? Exactly. Let's not start this already, but that's something for you to think about. If Lawson was to get the
boot,
I mean,
I'd leave Yuki. I'd actually leave Yuki where he is.
I kind of agreed with Ted on that one, because that's what Ted said. Leave Yuki at Racing Bulls, get him to score, try and get him consistently scoring.
Yeah.
And that might just drag Racing Bulls into like 5th in the constructors by the end of the year. And that's prize money.
Now the interesting thing is, it's looking quite tight already. After one race, obviously Lando's leading. Max is not far behind him. Russell and Antonelli. Albon is currently 5th. Now, this is only after one race, but you go to the team standings, McLaren and Merc are level already after one race.
Well, you can...
Say that again.
Which is for Mercedes after last season to be level top of the points.
already. And Williams currently 4th. Did Williams even score this time last year?
Probably not, no. Probably not.
Races 2024, Bahrain. No, Williams last year were pointless on their first race last year.
Bear in mind, Williams already have the same amount of points this year that they finished last season with.
Yeah, I know.
No, I'm misreading. No, not quite. No, I'm misreading that. Sorry. They have got 10 out of the 17 points they got last season.
Yeah.
Kick Sauber already have 2 more points than they got last season.
Yeah. It's, even the Sauber.
But that's the thing, and that's one of the things I love about a race like that. Is where the upsets, the surprises can happen. The Hulkenberg getting a 6th. 7th. Stroll getting 6th. It's races like that where these things can just get thrown in. I mean, I think back to Heinz-Harald Frentzen winning Monaco in a Jordan.
Yeah.
It's just, when you sprinkle a bit of rain on the track, all bets are off. Especially when you do it mid-race and the way it happened. But, no, I mean, I don't know what the weather report's looking like for China, but I'll take a sprinkling of rain there as well if it's on offer.
I'm just checking that as well. Yeah, I'm slightly doing a little bit of a delay here. I don't want to delay it too much, but
It doesn't matter. It's not something I'm overly worried about.
-20 degrees, 0 rain at the minute.
Sprint 3 to 4 a.m. on Saturday.
Yep. So,
Not on early night, Friday night, and get up in time and watch it before I go to work.
So yeah, quickly, I'm going to just do the run through the times based on the UK times. Obviously, practice 1 is the 21st of March, 3:30 to 4:30. Sprint qualifying, 21st of March, 7:30 to about 8:14, it says here.
I know why it says 14, I can't quite figure out.
No. Sprint, 22nd of March, 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. Qualifying, obviously the same day, but 7 a.m. till 8, and the race on the 23rd at 7 a.m. Now.
Let's not bother with Fantasy League. Let's wait till we get a few more races in.
I was going to say, let's not bother, but I'm actually really interested.
No, you're not. No, we're not going to look. Right, folks, that's the podcast. Hope you enjoy. Catch you next week. See ya. Bye.
Let's add that to the words of wisdom.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Didn't expect that many people.
No, we got good. Nice to see some more of you getting involved, folks. I must admit.
Yeah, but I know there's a couple there, isn't there?
Yeah, I recognise quite a few of the names.
Yeah. David, what the?
Who would have thought putting my faith in Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso would fuck me over?
Wow.
Because that's what's done it.
Alonso's done you.
And Sainz.
Yeah, but I had Sainz.
And the Racing Bulls. It's early days. The ironic
I know
thing
it's
is,
early days, but
I've done 3 teams this year. I have a feeling the one I've put into our league is currently the worst team.
so obviously wow. Yeah, you've got some catching up to do, boy.
It's very, very early days yet. It's very, very early days.
Well, somebody else got screwed there with 41 points. Somebody else didn't do so good.
I remember making a thing last year when Alan got that minus figure. What?
Somebody played the 3 times already on Oscar and 2 times on Science.
And they still only got 5th.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. The
but
2 times doubled the minus figure.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's painful.
That's very painful.
And that's interesting to know.
Yeah.
That the 2 times on a minus will double the minus.
Screw
I
you
know that
up.
sounds logical, but at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, Ryan's gone for somebody different this year. There's quite a few of us that are crossing here. Obviously.
Ironically, Alan had 2 minuses as well, but managed to pull it back with Norris and McLaren.
Well, I had McLaren, I had Norris. It was Bortoletto and Hadjar that let me down, and Sainz and Racing Balls. So, Adam here, Norris, Sainz. He did go for Antonelli.
Which turned out to have not been.
Not a bad choice, but it ate into his budget. Alan had 2 times on Norris. So
did you?
Yeah, I know.
I had mine on Charles.
Hadjar, Behrman, Hulkenberg, McLaren Racing Balls. Well, I picked the rookies, didn't I? But I kind of have faith in Hadjar, that's the thing. It's just unfortunate.
The amazing thing is you actually got 4 minuses.
But
still came out 127 points clear of me.
Yeah. And
I mean, Norris and McLaren. Norris and McLaren have done obviously all your heavy lifting.
Yeah, I know.
Because you had your positives together, 118, come to 191.
Yeah.
Take away down to 124, so you lost a lot of points.
I know I did.
But you had a lot, but you scored a lot. I lost 20, 30. I lost 49 points, but obviously I only scored obviously only scored 46 points to begin with.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us got free of minuses. No, we didn't. Everyone's got at least 1 minus. Alan's got 3. Adam's got 2. You've got 4.
I've got 4.
Ryan's got 2. Logan's got 2. Angela's got 2. So everybody's got at least 2 minuses.
Minuses, yeah.
Wow. Well,
God, what an interesting race that was, though.
Well, like I say, at what point would you have thought having both Alonso and Sainz on your team would fuck you over?
Yeah.
Because that's what he did to me.
See, I thought about Alonso, but then I thought, no.
I thought it was usually a safe pair of hands.
Yeah, usually.
It's usually a safe. No, today he decided not to be.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was the Fantasy League. Holy crap, Alan's already in the lead.
Join us this time next week after China to see if it's still that way.
I mean,
I hope not. We'll never hear the end of it.
You've got some. It's going to be it's going to be an interesting competition this year, especially with at least this many. But
it's a long way to go. Yeah.
Oh, we know. But obviously, if you are listening, and you do want to get involved, the link is at the top. Come and join, because as you can see, unfortunately, David has some. Whether he makes changes or he keeps it like that, I don't know. got some interesting stuff coming as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be interested to see what we can actually do. Oh, we can still use the chips. We still have limitless wildcard, obviously your final fix, your extra DRS, which is your times 3.
I've got to remember that final fix is something I kept forgetting about last year.
And it can only be used after qualifying.
Yeah, so I've got to remember that one, that's the thing.
Yeah. And then, obviously, you've got your non-negatives, which is including...
It was a good weekend for me to play that one, wouldn't it?
It would have been. And then, obviously, you have your autopilot as well, which is a top scoring driver will automatically get DRS boost 2 times score, overriding the manual selection.
Yeah. Now, well, look at them going forward.
Yeah. For now...
I made the mistake last year of using 3 in the first 3 races and having none for the rest of the season, so...
Which is...
I'm wanting to be a little bit more...
A little bit more careful this
time.
This time. So, yeah.
But yeah.
Anything else you want to quickly add?
No, just... I'm looking for this. This definitely made it seem very interesting this season. You know, went into the last year before the big reg changes of 26.
And the new team.
And new team coming in. We have new rookies for the first time. And wow, we're having a great time for F1 right now. We've got the film coming this year.
Yep.
Which the trailer's been doing the rounds. I'm sure if you're an F1 fan, you've seen it by now. I'm not fully sure what to make of it yet, but I'll definitely be giving it a watch. And they've used the chain as the music. So, instantly, yes. Instantly, as an old-fashioned F1 fan, that is a win in my book.
We'll see. So, obviously, yeah, do join us again. Obviously, next week. And don't forget that it will be coming out at 3 p.m. on a Wednesday. And obviously, thank you to David for joining.
Been a pleasure as always.
And we shall see you for the next one. So, until then.
Later, folks.
Goodbye for now.
Let's add that to the words of wisdom.